Ladies and gentlemen, this is really an honor for me. Stepping back into time, the legendary Rick Martel, you knew him as the model, but I just knew him as just a great person. And Rick,
Thank you.
so good to see you, my friend.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here and having all the people around, all the memories, and it's fantastic for me to be here. I'm really enjoying myself.
You know, we talked briefly last night, and it's the same for me. I don't think we ever really understood the impact that the WWF, World Wrestling Federation, had on people. But now when you come here and you see these people coming up to, I hear some of the conversations. How does that make you feel? What do you get it now?
Oh yes, I do get it, and back those years ago, I'm 70 years old now, and I started very early, at 20 years old, not even 20 years old, and I lost my brother in an accident in wrestling, so to me it was a hard time, and back then, internet and things weren't on the table. So I went on a international career, New Zealand, Australia, and all those places. And I came back here in the States and WWF, and I wanted to be close to home, and I did, and I never regretted it.
Yeah. Just an incredible time, though. They call it the golden era. And what do you think it was as far as professional wrestling and where it went to? I mean, you guys were rock stars back then.
Sure.
What was it about that era, though? Today,
it's fantastic.
This is what people come to see.
It was like, 93,000 people at that stadium, and
Pontiac
it
Silverdome.
was unreal, unbelievable, and I was, like you said, we were like rock stars. It was fantastic. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed WWF. I had some great time there, and to me, it was where wrestling changed. From being on TV, on television every week to filled
worldwide.
Yeah. Oh yes, it was great.
Yeah. But when you were in the middle of all this, it was a tough life. I talked to people about what that road life was like. They paid for your tickets, for the airfare, but you guys covered everything else, and then you were on the road for how many days, and maybe get home for a few. It was tough.
It's tough, and also, your knees, your back, and you were hurt all over, and we didn't have insurance, and we're making millions. We were just in there because we loved it.
Yeah.
We loved the reaction of the crowd. We loved to go to the gym, to be. It's like I go to these in the convention, and I see all some of my old partners.
Guys down the street, Hacksaw, Tito,
and Tony Gurria, and all these guys. And we were talking about that, about how we paid dearly physically, but we did what we had to do, and back then we enjoyed it.
Those moments in the ring can't be matched. There's no way.
And plus, when I went to New Zealand, and Curtis, King Curtis, and all that, New Zealand, Australia, it was fantastic. I loved it. I enjoyed it, and we can't complain.
But Rick, one thing though is that you always did it your way. That's why I admired you so much, because they told you, no, you're just a baby face. You can't be a heel. You'll never make it. And you were willing to okay, I'll walk away.
Yeah.
And yet you stuck with it, and then created one of the greatest characters in the WWF, WWE, I can say to this day, with the model. So talk about that perseverance that you had, that inner drive in you that, look, I've got to stay with what I believe in.
Well, I was disappointed when they said no to my intention of doing as a heel and all that. I said, well, it'd be great, you know. I said, we don't need we don't need that now, you know. And I walked away. I went back home for a few days, and I came back. Well, I'll tell you what. If you don't want to try it, I'll go elsewhere.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I'll tell you what. Let's give it a try, and we'll see after. So we did at WrestleMania, not WrestleMania, but you know, where Tito, I turned on Tito.
Yeah.
Tito tried
Yeah.
to turn, and I turned around, and I had all that things in my mind about creating that gimmick, and and Tito was the perfect opponent.
So good.
Yeah. We were like this.
Yeah.
So we did the gimmick, and Hulk. You know, I was roommate with Terry, you know, Hulk, and he watched when we did it, when we did the angle where Tito was tag team with me, and he went to tag me. He was in trouble in the ring. He went to tag me, and I turned around at the crowd and went like this, you know, and the heat.
Yeah,
that was
could feel it.
People were like this, and I turned, and I made the face with that face, you know, and
the arrogance
face, like, and I walk in the dressing room, and Hulk came in and says, Rick, he says, you did it. He says, man, that's a natural. I'm telling you, the heat you had, and I went on with that gimmick, and I never regretted it.
No, some of the greatest runs, the one you had with Jake, with the
and Jake again.
Yeah.
Did the angle with Jake. Jake was a great creator, great opponent. We did that thing, and the arrogance was the perfect thing for, you know. And when he came in, and he didn't tell me, but he put on those white
contact thing.
thing. So he turned, you know, he turned like this around, and then he looked at me. I said, "Oh my God!" I almost so that's you. And he laughed inside, and then when we came back in the dressing room, he says, what do you think? I said, oh, wow. I said, that's fantastic, you know. So we created that angle, and boom, boom, and yes, I loved it.
Yeah. Now you would go on and do other things, but eventually you walked away from the business.
Yeah.
But you set it up so that you could do that without being dependent on having to go back in the ring. A lot of people don't understand it. Like Raymond Rougeau is an example of that too. But you also, and that's how did you set yourself up for that? What was your thinking behind that all along? Did you realize that early in your career? I'm going to have to be able to take care of me and my family.
Yeah. Well, also it was the you know, you get a lot of injuries, and I saw, and plus the thing with my brother, you know, he passed away, and that I always kept in the back of my mind that I said, well, I have to put my money away and invest my money and be careful with my money and maybe I'll because it's not like professional football or where we make a fortune. Where
and you're an independent contractor. Nobody's
you make millions, and it's not that. So I said, well, you know, you can't complain. Do what you have to do, and you'll get the result. So I did, and I went into real estate, and thank God things went well, and I came out okay.
Yeah. You stayed away a long time.
Yeah.
Why were you out of, like, not really even involved at all for so long?
Because wrestling, professional wrestling, you can't just get a little bit involved.
Pull you in.
Yes. Yeah. It's like that TV thing. They bring me back in, you know.
Yeah.
But because it's very demanding, you know, and a lot of things, and a lot of people, a lot of guys or ladies for that matter now, you know, say, oh, you should have done this, and this should have been done. So you cannot go there at 20% and say, yeah. You're either with or without.
Right.
And so I did, and it was too demanding. The road, for family and all that. So I said, it's time for me to do something else.
And what brought you back? I know you've been making very few appearances, but I know people love seeing you. What is it that made you decide, maybe it's time?
Yeah. Well, somebody that came to my house and asked me to sign a wrestling picture and all that. I said, sure. Then he came back with more pictures, and then he says, Rick says, why don't you come back? He says, look, I'm in Florida, and come by and say hello. And I went by and say hello, and then all of a sudden, I'm signing things. And then slowly I said, well, maybe it's time for me to start, wrestling. And I did one convention, and it was a lot of fun. And now here I am.
Yeah, you can see the reception is pretty awesome.
It's fantastic.
People have talked for years that Rick Martel's got to be in the WWE Hall of Fame. Will you answer that call?
I did a while back. I got a call, but I wasn't ready. I'm not sure if I would go or. Right now, I'm enjoying myself. I'm enjoying with all of this, and we'll see. Every offer needs to.
Just like real estate, you got to see how the deal is.
You get it right.
Rick, you're awesome. I always had so much admiration for you when I had the privilege of working with you way back when. But I just love not just what you did in the ring, but how you carry yourself in life, and it's clear by the success that you've had everywhere. So,
and also, my wife Joanne, we've been together for 42 years, and so. Going back on the road is very demanding and physically, and I keep myself in shape. I do push-ups and all this, but I got a hip surgery and my knees. It's I had to replace. So it's all of that. Because you get in and you do a little more.
And we're not kids anymore. And no matter what, no matter how well you took care of yourself, it was still a car wreck every time you stepped in that ring,
exactly.
right?
So now I'm enjoying this here once in a while, and I look at my nephews, and it's fun. But anyway, I'm very, very thankful to the people that Martin, Villeneuve, and all these guys that put in these conventions together. And that gives me opportunities to see everybody and meet people that I haven't seen for years.
Yeah, like you and me.
Yeah.
It's great to see you.
Always.
Rick.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, brother.
Appreciate it.